Hello and welcome back to the Sheva Secret series, Na or Nach. In today's video, we will learn the first rule that when a Sheva is at the beginning of the word, it is a Sheva Na, which means it's pronounced. Let's dive in. When there is a word that has a Sheva under the very first letter of the word, meaning it's the first vowel of the word, do we pronounce it or not? Is it a Sheva Na or a Sheva Nach? This is pretty easy to identify because it's the first letter of the word. So rule number one is that if a Sheva is at the beginning of a word, it is a Sheva Na, meaning it is pronounced, which means it would be pronounced as eh. So, for example, this word here on the screen is the word Shema Yisrael. We spoke about this in the prior video. Shema. This is two syllables. The shin has a sheva under it. That sheva, since the shin is the first letter of the word, rule number one tells us it is pronounced as a she sound. There's two syllables, shema. It would be incorrect to read this as a sheva nach as shma. Shma with a single syllable for the entire word. This is two. That is a sheva na because it's the beginning of the word. Let's look at a few examples. Example number one, I love giving this example because we're learning about the rules of a sheva, and the word sheva has a sheva under the first letter of that word. So this word actually should be pronounced as sheva because the sheva under the shin of the first letter is a Sheva Na, meaning it's pronounced. Example number two is the word lecha. This word here, because it's the first letter of the word, there's a Sheva under it, that's a Sheva Na. And the third example on the word, common word that we are all familiar with, of the word tefillah, meaning prayer. This word, once again, has three syllables. It's te-fi-la. Why? Because it's a sheva under the first letter of a word, as we call it sheva berosh mila, a sheva at the beginning of a word, and it is pronounced as a sheva na. Some people might say this word as tfila, which would be making it a sheva nach, but that is not the correct way of reading this because it's a sheva under the first letter of the word. So let's look at some examples where you try. What I'll ask you to do is to go ahead and pause the video. Pause the video and try to read these words on your own. Hopefully you had a chance to pause. That first word on the screen is the word beracha, because it's a sheva under the first letter of the word, so it is a sheva na. Someone might say bracha or bracha, but both of those would be incorrect because the blending the bet and the resh sound together as bra is ignoring that sheva na underneath that first letter. That's making it a sheva nach essentially by not pronouncing it. Saying bracha would be ignoring it or calling that a sheva nach, but that's not correct. Why? Because there's sheva under the first letter of the word. So this word is beracha. Example number two would be shelishi, shelishi, which means the third. It could be that in modern Hebrew, someone will say hayom yom shlishi, today is the third day, and make it a sheva nach. But when we're talking about reading, when we're talking about reading the Sidur, reading the Torah, reading and decoding the proper way, the rule is if you have a sheva under the first letter of the word, then it is a sheva na and it is pronounced. So this word is shelishi or shelishi. So as we go on through these videos, I'll be having a rule bank that we continue to add to. There are many rules. There are going to be approximately 10 rules, but there's going to be a lot of overlap. So to help keep track of it, I will be having a rule bank slide after every video so that you're aware of everything that we've done cumulatively. So the first rule is, if the sheva is at the beginning of the word, it is a sheva na, meaning it is pronounced. In our next video, we are going to learn the second rule of the sheva, which is when there is a sheva under a letter that has a dagesh in it, that will be pronounced as a sheva na. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. I'll see you next time.